experienced what I can only explain as being caught up spiritually, almost like raptured, snatched up as I'm praying. Now, general prayer, not trying to, I don't think that I had any particular target, just praying. And now I'm being snatched up. And as I'm snatched up, or what I will call to be snatched up, being suspended in a moment of time, I was positioned where I had an aerial view of the United States of America. And so just then, when I realized what I was looking at, the Spirit of the Lord said something to me that changed the trajectory of my life, though at that moment I did not know that. And so what he said was, gather the intercessors, listen, gather the intercessors for what is about to hit America. Now, I know some intercessors are for Uganda, for Kenya, for China, for Japan. For me, it's America. And so gather the intercessors for what is about to hit America. Though it will surely hit, the prayers of the intercessors will buffer the blow. That's what I heard. That's what he said. That was the experience. And so this happened, I want to say about 2 or 3 more times within a 2 or 3 day time period. And then I eventually came to the realization that God was placing a command or a call upon my life in this field. And so let me just also interject about the word buffer, because the teacher in me liked to look up words. And so according to Merriam-Webster, the term buffer means basically it serves as a protective barrier, right? God said that the intercessors will buffer the blow. So buffer means to serve as a protective barrier, such as to shield someone else, right? So in this context, it means to lessen the shock for what is about to happen to the United States. Now, understand at that time, and in context of government legislation, laws, the agendas hidden in plain sight, I was much like the average Christian. I really didn't care. I was more concerned about whatever was before me, whatever God would say. I was not concerned up until that time. And I like to call it my for no more syndrome, but that's just me. And so, but from then, from 2012 until now, God has since changed my perspective, expanded and enlarged, as well as sharpened my discernment, and gave me vision to see things a lot differently. So now a decade later would pass before I revisit the boiler room, or he and I had this moment, right? In terms of what I'm talking about today. And so I had almost maybe a couple of months ago, during the time from 2011, 2012 to current, don't misunderstand this. I was talking to people, some people, because people still like it. So I was talking to some people about it, but then, nothing really concrete. And I would occasionally bring it to the Lord. I would think about it, but you got life and you got other things going on. So 10 years later, I'm teaching a class. Matter of fact, I'm at the tail end of teaching a class, and I was just kind of getting ready for the day, for the class. And I'm not even thinking, how you have a problem or you have a situation before the Lord, but you don't really map it out. Not all the time. You don't sit there and talk it out and map it out. And in my mind, I always thought that I had to, let me try to get 100 people together. And then, let me introduce the boiler room. And then let me figure out exactly how does it work. And then, so in my mind, I thought I would first have to gather 100 intercessors before I could start a boiler room. And so one casual conversation with the Lord, again, just getting ready for a class. And I'm simply talking to him, not expecting an answer at that time, and certainly not expecting the answer that he gave me, which was, it only starts with one person.